This is another episode of Talks with Tyler ISD, a podcast about the passionate people who have a heart for students. This podcast is brought to you by Texas Bank and Trust. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Talks with Tyler ISD. I'm your host, Jennifer Hines, and joining us today is Dr. Julie Philley, the president of the University of Texas at Tyler. Thank you so much for joining us today.
We're so glad to be here.
We're so glad to have you. I am so excited that you're here because you are the sixth president of UT Tyler and the first woman. So this is just a wonderful thing to have you here today. You're about 8 months in, is that correct?
That's right, Jennifer.
Okay, so but you have been around for a while. You have been with UT for many, many years. But first, you grew up just down the road in Overton, 20 miles away. Tell us a little bit about your journey to where you are today.
Well, it is hard to believe. I did grow up in East Texas. And again, thank you for having me today. It's an honor to be here. Grew up in Overton. Wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, but knew I wanted to be something in the healthcare profession. Ended up going to Tyler Junior College, our beloved TJC. Then went on to actually obtain a degree in nursing. And that's how I started my healthcare career. And then decided what I really wanted to do was be a physician. So went to medical school in Houston and then moved to Baltimore for a little bit to do internal medicine residency and moved back to Dallas to do specialize in critical care and ended up coming back to East Texas about 13 years ago.
Wonderful.
And practiced as a physician and saw all the great opportunities we could offer to students who were just like me. And so through a series of events, had the great, wonderful honor and fortune to become the president in June of this past year.
So what inspired you, I guess, to go from the practicing side to moving over to the education side?
Oh, it's a great question. I did not have that part of my life planned out. But like you can imagine, life takes lots of different twists and turns. And so just through being involved and hoping that one day we could have a medical school in East Texas, I kind of had new leadership opportunities that then just translated into more and more opportunities to advance. And so when we combined the Health Science Center with UT Tyler to become one organization, I had taken over the responsibilities of everything we did on the health side, so the medical school and nursing school and pharmacy and other things. And then when our president retired, Dr. Calhoun, then this opportunity became available, and it's just been a real blessing.
And so you had a big role in terms of making the medical school a reality. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was a small piece of the team that helped. I certainly did not make that happen, but boy, we've had so much community support and the support of the Board of Regents for UT System, led by Chairman Eltype, who lives right here locally.
Yes.
Also, the state of Texas really supported us to help start the medical school. So it's just been a great journey, and I still pinch myself that you can live in Tyler and go to school K through 12, then go to the universities, and then go to medical school right here in town.
That's wonderful. You can just stay here and go all the way through.
You can.
That's wonderful. Well, tell us a little bit, now that you've been in your role for, several months now, tell us about your vision for UT Tyler and where you see it going in the future. I know you're really big on community.
I am, and I think we've developed a team that feels the same way. Everything we do at UT Tyler is in service to students, and they are the single most important focus of our organization, very similar to TISD and to other places here in town. And so if we just keep our eye on the ball, and that is students and their success, I think that what people are going to see from us is just continued investment locally and in all of our counties here in East Texas. It's really important to us.
Well, I love to see that collaboration and bringing in TJC and also Tyler ISD is a big part of your vision and what y'all are going to continue to do. For us here at Tyler ISD, I know that the UT School of Medicine has collaborated with our 3D modeling and animation students, and they did some really cool things, and it was actually to benefit the medical students. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, I love to talk about this because it's really interesting. The 3D modeling that the students do and learn at TISD really changes the way that you learn. And so you would think that medical students might be teaching high school students But it's actually sometimes the other way around. Through this 3D modeling, we have been able to teach each other how blood clots.
It's the clotting cascade.
Exactly, and all these big words. But when you actually see it come to life, I think it makes it accessible and easier to understand. And that was so great to see students work together at various levels.
I know, and what I love about it is that, we're talking about, 3D modeling and animation students. They're working with all of the different kind of graphics and the video, but they're working on something that's medical oriented, and it's a win-win for both sides, even though they're in two totally different sections of what they're learning about.
Exactly, and sometimes it sparks that curiosity to say, well, I actually never considered a career in something different. And so I think it's pretty inspiring, honestly.
Absolutely. Another thing that y'all collaborate with Tyler ISD on is the mock interview event. That is such a neat event, and that's also helpful for our marketing students at the Career and Technology Center. Tell us how that helps these students that we have at Tyler ISD move to that next step.
Okay, so since I became president, I went to this mock interview day. For the first time. I wasn't sure actually what I was getting into, and it's led by Gail Johnson, who's been doing this at UT Tyler for a couple of decades. I tell you, I went to this mock interview day and I thought, I wish I had had this, and I still might need to attend this every year because what it teaches is just how to be yourself, but also be professional, and how to convey your sincere desire to either get a job or get a scholarship. And so it's just practical skills. And we've hosted this and had TISD students that come, and I think they love it and really benefit from that real world experience and practice.
Yeah, because you have to practice interviewing, selling yourself, whether it is for a scholarship or a job or anything like that. And I love that it helps them with, what does your resume look like? How do you present yourself? What do you wear? All of those things. Like you said, showing yourself, but also doing it in a professional manner. That's so important these days. My other favorite, because I actually got to attend this event, was when y'all called and said, hey, we need y'all's culinary students, and we have this Iron Chef coming, and then TJC stepped in. Tell us about that. I mean, it was just the best collaboration.
Oh, I loved it too. So, and I don't cook. I wish I did, but I thought about it after I actually went to this event. Alex Guarnaschelli, who's an Iron Chef, was coming to the Cowan Center. And she's on TV and a celebrity.
Famous,
exactly.
She is.
And she's sassy and she's a lot of fun. But the culinary students at TISD and the TJC culinary students partnered and actually served about 60 people before the actual show, and it was wonderful. And so she was able to give them some feedback and some tips. They got to meet her. And also, it was just a great community event because, again, it brings us all together to realize really what's important are our investment in our students.
And I loved it because the Tyler ISD students, they made cannolis for dessert. It was going with the theme. And we were all like, okay, what's the proper way to eat a cannoli? I know. And that was a part of her speech, and it was just so funny because I'm like, I really don't know. We were all just kind of sitting there like, do you pick it up with your hands? Do you try because they're hard? Do you eat it with a knife and fork? It was really funny. She was great with that.
Yeah, she was great. She answered all of our questions. I thought she was a delight.
Another thing that I think is really important is that y'all are doing such a great job, not only with bringing our students in, but partnering with our teachers. We recently signed a partnership with UT Tyler over our TEAM.One initiative, which is taking teachers who want to go into that next step of a leadership role, and this helps them get their master's, where Tyler ISD pays for it, and y'all help us get them there. Tell us about that. That's exciting.
Well, so what I've seen with TEAM.One is that TISD is really investing to keep the best talent local, and it's also investing, quite frankly, to keep the best talent within TISD. And so UT Tyler has been so proud to just work together to basically provide that educational opportunity to our teachers and administrators that want to go on for that advanced degree. And so I think there's even more we can do to work together with other professionals to help them stay in teaching or be inspired to teach. And so I think that people are going to see a lot from that collaboration.
Yeah, and I think it's so important right now. I mean, we are seeing nationwide, definitely at the state level, that we're not producing enough teachers. We're going to see a teacher shortage. So this is just something that really is going to help retain, even recruit teachers, because we're offering this as an incentive. And I think that just helps with creating that pipeline that's so much needed. But speaking of pipelines, y'all do a lot of things in terms of making sure that the students here in the East Texas area have that pipeline to UT Tyler. And I know one of the things that y'all do is the annual Top 25% celebration. Tell us about that celebration.
Oh, this is another really fun event. So the top 25% of students at TISD get to come onto our campus. And then we have, it's just a showcase of UT Tyler, what we have to offer, but it's also really celebrating that achievement to be in the top 25% of your class. They're introduced basically to all the opportunities that are right here and that are accessible to them. And I tell you, we're working so hard and through just the generosity of being a part of the UT system to make college accessible to our citizens. And recently we announced that our UT Tyler Patriot Promise is available to students, and that is taking families with an income of $100,000 or less and allowing students to go to college tuition and fee free.
That's amazing.
And so besides that, there's other opportunities. We just want people to understand that we're here to make East Texans and Texans successful, and so there's lots of opportunity to be able to do that.
Well, I love that with the top 25%, you're bringing those students on campus, showing them what college life is like. Some of them may not even think about going to college, and then this kind of opens their minds to that, and then you're making it easy for them to attend, especially if they come from a household that can't afford to send them. Okay, no, this is a reality. You can actually get there. And y'all go even a step beyond that with your UT Tyler Honors College. Tell us a little bit about the college, because we've also recently had 3 students get a scholarship.
So the Honors College is it's a group of individuals that sounds like you're just brilliant, and they are. They're very smart, have high GPAs, and very high achieving, but they're also, as our dean says, they're very curious individuals. And they demonstrate excellence in the community too. And so it's about a group, I think, of about 300 total in the Honors College. And they have majors and they do other things, but they really have a sense of community on our campus. And then we do offer a scholarship, and you mentioned the 3 students. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yes, because you were there.
I was there. My picture, it will live on forever. But those students received a $40,000 scholarship total to come to UT Tyler. And we had over 500 applications that were qualified, and we had to narrow it down to 20. So it's a really big deal.
That is wonderful. And that's $10,000 a year. Some of them got $2,000 a year, so different levels, but it really helps to spread it out and allow those students to, again, complete that pathway. It's just such a neat thing that we've got going on. A couple of other things that y'all also help with is, and again, this partnership, it's so wonderful, but the pathways to professions. Y'all bring people over here to talk about the health science pathways so they know what all they can do there. And then even the opportunity fair and just letting them know what all there is out there. I think that's so important, especially when you're talking to a student who the world is their oyster and what direction do they need to go. And I know that we've got so many of our students that come and tour your campus. Tell us a little bit about your vision again. Like, what is something that you would want those listening today to know and take away from today that is going to be the future of UT Tyler?
Oh, I think UT Tyler is a first option. It's not a last option. And UT Tyler is a university, and we have fun on our campus. I think students are going to see more and more from us that our athletics is strong. We're going to do some renovations that hopefully magnify the beauty of the campus, but also make it feel more like a college campus. And I think students are going to want to come because it's a lot of fun, and campus life is a big part of going to university. So I think people are just going to see that UT Tyler's a part of this community, something to be really proud of, and that we offer just about everything from engineering to business to health to just about everything to get a good degree.
Well, I think that is wonderful. We appreciate your partnership and collaboration between Tyler ISD and UT Tyler, and we look forward to many more years and more partnerships in the future. Thank you, Dr. Julie Philley, for joining us today. Again, the new president for UT Tyler. If you would like to hear more about this podcast, please share it with your friends. And if you want to know more about all things Tyler ISD, you can always sign up for our newsletter at get.tylerisd.news. We would like to thank our sponsor, Texas Bank and Trust. Subscribe to Talks with Tyler ISD on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Please share this episode with your friends and family.